This is happiness, to be everything at once. Be unblinded, be unlearned, be unbridled and unburned.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to a brand new episode of Mood Prep. My name is Dave Nixon, and today I'm going to sort of talk about one of the main things that I do most of my coaching to. So funnily enough, I was talking to a listener yesterday, and what they weren't aware of, I suppose, is some of the things that I do and doing at the moment. So at the moment, I'm writing a manuscript for a book called Minding Yourself, which you can actually pre-order on I think Amazon, the Book Depository, Goodreads. It's due to come out either 1st of December or early January 2019, 2020. So there's that. But what I also end up doing a lot of my time is coaching. So I have clients all the way around the world, in America, in Slovakia, Australia. And one of the things that I coach to the most, and it's developmental coaching, it's coaching conversations, and is the ability to... There's a couple of different words people use, and it's really sort of meaning the same thing, but to be in the zone, to be present, or to sort of be in flow, right? Where everything just kind of flows. And what's really interesting about this is that although it was kind of communicated often differently, it all kind of came back to the same place of being really connected to their body in the present moment. And in that space, everything becomes effortless. And it goes to show for us how much of our own personal difficulties actually are really happening in the current moment, but we're thinking about a future moment or a past moment. It's got nothing to do with what's happening right now, and we're responding we're losing our life, because our life is actually, it's a doing word, it's to be lived. Living. So we're living in the living now, and if we're living yet we are actually thinking about the future or thinking about the past, then we're not actually living right now. We're living in mind about the future or past. And so the ability to do this makes us run like fucking Windows 95. And so the Windows 95 becomes slow and clunky, and we can get angry with it. It's sort of it becomes this almost excuse and this reason to become anxious, to become depressed, to become all of these negative, what we deem to be negative experiences about the current moment. And so the beautiful thing for us is that when we allow ourselves to slow down, we actually speed up long term. It's slowing down short term, speeding up. Slowing down short term, speeding up long term, but it's the ability to be able to slow down, look after ourselves, and breathe, and go through our thoughts, and maybe journal or do a verbal journal or whatever it may be. Our ability to do that is so powerful, because it gives us the opportunity to start seeing things as they are rather than as we are in the moment, based on our state that's been affected by our thoughts and our body about shit that hasn't happened yet, or shit that we perceive to have happened many, many moons ago. But even that was filtered through our own experiences. So many problems that we actually go through have never happened and never do happen. This is with the whole like Seneca quote of, we suffer more in imagination than in reality. What that's really saying is that when we create these issues in our head, and we do that, this is why I'm so big on saying that things don't make us anxious. We make ourselves anxious about things. It's our thoughts about external events, and then it's our thoughts and our feelings about our thoughts and feelings about external events. But all of this is occurring in our own movie that we create in our head, and sometimes it's like we have no control over it, but that's us handing our power over because we don't know how to have control over it. That's different. Not having control and not knowing how to have control are two very different things. And so when we're able to step into this position of constantly pursuing the ability to be present and really paying like really acute attention to what's coming up for us, that's actually playing on our minds. Like, when are we not being true to what's true for us? When are we putting off conversations that we really should be having? When are we spending time with people that we no longer want to spend time with, and maybe fucking sleeping next to, but we're doing it for a reason that's outdated? That's not fair on you, but it's not also fair on them. This is why, like, friendship can come and go, and the ability to make sure that above everything that we're loyal to ourselves and to what's important to us and what's true for us. Like, that's the most important thing, because when we're taking care of our core needs, right, we're taking care of the things that truly matter to us. We may think this is selfish, but most of the time, the people that don't take care of themselves end up finding someone else who needs to take care of them. Maybe it's a psychologist, or maybe it's, and you heard me talk about the other day, there's no shame in that either, hey. And just getting to the point that self-care of understanding how to get into the present moment, to be able to see things as it is, to be the witness, to be the observer without judgment, to be that, as opposed to being the person that constantly is trying to save everyone else, because really you're screaming out to be saved. Hey, it's like, I'm avoiding all of these things, so let me help you. It's like, stop avoiding that shit. People don't need your help as much as you need to help you. And so with all of this, it's being true for us to be able to give ourselves space each day to go through our thoughts and to go through, what we may be avoiding, and really asking those questions and really wanting to know the answer to those questions. When we really ask those questions with the complete just release and openness of whatever the fuck the answer is, then that's where we truly start to develop, because we're no longer attached to being right. We're no longer attached to the need to look good. We're no longer attached to whatever other people may think of us. We're just in this pure ability, this pure witnessing stage of what's the truth. It's like we get so sick of being in this shitty fucking movie that we're just like, I need to step out of this matrix, this system, this structure, this construct. I need to step out and just look at it as it is. And in doing so, we slow down our breathing. In doing so, we actually start to observe and see more than we've ever seen before. Because in that space, when things slow down, that's when we can move so smoothly. And I think that's an old, pretty sure it's like an acro yoga quote. I'm not sure where it came from. I remember reading it in a Tim Ferriss book, but he quoted somebody else, and it was like, slow is smooth and smooth is fast. And so when we can move slow, because thinking slow isn't being a slow thinker, it's thinking clearly. It's being able to see everything rather than just jumping thought from thought. Because when we are a slow thinker, we're able to see all the thoughts and be able to move swiftly through them, and that allows us to think fast and to think clearly. Because thinking fast is often jumbled. That's not thinking clearly, right? But when we can think clearly, it's thinking concisely, and then we can start to decide what we want to actually act on. And so this is a beautiful space of where we're able to be in the present moment and actually respond to the world as I am in this moment, not as the 18-year-old Dave or the 12-year-old Dave, or being anxious. I'm making a decision in this moment, anxious about something that's going to happen potentially in a week. It's just letting that go, because none of that is serving you. None of it. Right? And while it's not serving you, you can't fucking serve. While you've got these other biases occurring in the background, you aren't able to serve anyone. And when we know that, when we can understand that, that's when things really change, because then we start to continually seek this ability to be in the present moment, to give ourselves to the person, to the event, to the thing that's happening, knowing that whatever happens afterwards happens, whatever happens before, and our need to control all of that is just irrelevant, because that's not actually dealing with reality. If you really want to control it, you let go of control, because the control is controlling you. You're out of control. Hey, but that's another podcast. And on that note, team, if you found this podcast beneficial, it would mean the world to me if you'd pass it on to someone else that you think would also find it beneficial. If you haven't already, jump on Mood Prep online on Facebook. I'd love to see you in there and join the conversation. On that note, I'm out. Done. Team, thank you so much for tuning in. Until tomorrow, peace and pizza. Kick today in the dick and slay the dragon. I'll see you soon.
To be everything at once, be unblinded, be unlearned, be unbridled and unburned.